So we already did a Hunter Arc build a couple of seasons ago, but this time we want to talk about the current season, Season 25 Arc build. We just ran Vesper's Host with this build, and it was really hitting hard, and I super enjoyed everything about this build. Once again, we are focusing this build around the Star Eater scales. We already discussed before that as you collect additional orbs of power, after your super is full, you get a stack of 6, and it adds that much more damage to your super, which for the endgame content such as Vesper's Host, you're putting a lot of damage onto the final boss. Looking at mods, always a huge fan of running Heavy Ammo Finder, Heavy Ammo Scout, but that's really your preference. I do use Arc Siphon because I like running arc weapons because I want to generate as many orbs as I can. Looking at the arms, nothing really specific. Again, I'm using armor mods that center around using that are creating orbs of power because I want to generate as many orbs as possible. Chest piece is your call. You're really going to use whatever kind of defense you're going to want based on the game that you're playing. Star Eater scales, what I also like to do is drop in the recuperation, if I can't pronounce it right, and then the better already. I like having those really easy armor mods since I'm generating so many orbs. It's regenerating my health as I run over these orbs. Throw on an arc weapon surge because I like using a lot of arc weapons for this build. We're getting the orbs through arc kills, and now we're just using the additional power with arc weapons to fight bosses, do additional boss damage. For the class item, again, since there's going to be a lot of different movement around, there's nothing really to set here that you have to use. Weapon wise, your primary weapon is your call. I'm a big fan of scout rifles, pulse rifles, submachine guns with kinetic tremors. It doesn't really matter. When it comes to your energy weapon, I'm using the VS Pyroelectric Propellant. Huge fan of this weapon with jolting feedback. This thing is an absolute rock star. Other weapons that are great, especially in Vesper's Host, not Vesper's Host, we're playing Vesper's Host, forget what I was doing, but Risk Runner is incredible, Trinity Ghoul, incredible, Indebted Kindness with Voltshot is always a fan favorite, Undercurrent Adept with Voltshot is absolutely great, and then the Arc Bow from the Salvation's Edge raid with Voltshot. Once again, great weapon. Right now, Thunderlord is absolutely smashing boss damage in some of the endgame content that's out there. Also come to find out that during the boss fight, while continuing to throw arc damage onto the boss, this was rebuilding my super really, really fast, where if you're familiar with the Vesper's Host dungeon, you do boss damage, you can collect the little radioactive orb, you can plant it into the side room, come back out and do a second part of damage if you can get it done. I was throwing my super twice before we were even going into the radioactive room, and I would still almost have my super back after exiting that room. Huge fan of Gathering Storm, paired with Star Eater scales. It's just incredible. Use whatever class ability you want. Use whatever movement ability you want. Disorienting Blow is what I use, but I don't really use this one too much, but it still works. Right now, for this current season, there's a lot of additional perks in the artifact right now that go along with blinding. So I was running flashbang grenades in the dungeon, and it was really working really well. When we get to the artifact, you'll see. For aspect, run a Tempest Strike because I like that additional melee slide you get. When you slide and you activate your melee charge, you do the uppercut with your weapon, jolting targets. It's a great additional weapon to use. Also using flow state, where defeating a jolt target makes you amplified, like being in that constant state of amplified. And you'll see down here with our fragments. Spark of Discharge. Arc weapon final blows have a chance to create ionic traces. We're really getting our super back. Arc grenades are jolting targets. The Spark of Shock, by the way. Moving forward, we have Spark of Brilliance. We're defeating blinded targets with precision damage creates a blinding explosion. So we're building more of that blinding action going on. And then Spark of Ions, we're defeating a jolted target, creates an ionic trace. So we're really getting our super back pretty fast. Looking down here on the current artifact, and this is where things were sticking out. Conductive Cosmic Crystal, where our arc abilities, the arc ability are going to do bonus damage to targets that are affected by stasis. If you pair this with a stasis weapon, or if you have partners that are running stasis, because right now the artifact is very stasis heavy. So if you wanted to run with this arc build while everyone else is using stasis, it pairs really well. Other thing that sticks out right now is the one that came out in Act 2 is Arc Compounding, where arc sources deal increased damage to blind targets. So this is why we're blinding stuff. We're doing all that additional damage. Also like using the rental burn, where rapid arc weapon precision hits consume an armor charge to blind targets. So again, we're continuing to blind targets as we're shooting them with arc weapons to do additional damage. The Trace Evidence, where rapid precision hits or rapid final blows on targets affected by jolt or blind will generate ionic tracers. So once again, throw a grenade out there, hit it with your arc weapon, more ionic traces are coming, and you're just continually building your super. So yeah, that's going to be it for this season 25 arc build. Hope you enjoyed.